Welcome back. I think my favorite thing right now is seeing all these Tampa fans deciding Tampa Bay sucks and that's it and how dare they. Not seeing the big picture. Moving Sergachev's cap hit, moving Jeannot's cap hit, freeing up that money. And according to Elliot Friedman, they're clearing that cap space with Jake Gensel in mind. So if you get Gensel with the cap money that you save trading these players out, that's not too bad. So we have a lot of trades to discuss. I've already done the Sergachev video. That's already on the channel. But there were two signings yesterday, like extensions. First off, Calvin Pickard extends his time with the Oilers. This is a really good move for the Oilers. It's a 2-year extension worth $1 million per season. The Oilers resurrect Pickard. He was kind of forgotten down in the AHL, and Pickard gives the Oilers a good, dependable backup. Michael Kesselring signed an extension with the Utah team. Of course, he was in Arizona. 2 years, $1.4 million cap hit for Kesselring, who had a good run towards the end of the year with Arizona. And with the additions they've made on the blue line, I'm just going to say they're putting together a decent defense core there in Utah. Now we'll get to talking about the trades, starting with one that kind of surprised me, and the reason I'm wearing a Caps jersey, I like what the Capitals did today. Logan Thompson added in net. So that means Thompson and Lindgren in net. Goaltending's kind of solved right now for them. And then going to the Vegas Golden Knights, the number 83 pick. They used that to draft Pavel Moisevich. And they also get a 2025 third round pick from Washington. And this is where people are going to say, that's all they could get for Thompson. I'm going to say it again. You never get a return on a goaltender you think you're going to get. People envision like, oh, we can get prospects and a first, and we can this goaltender's great. Goaltenders are wildly unpredictable. GMs do not give you value for a goaltender. It just doesn't happen. So for the Vegas Golden Knights, they moved Thompson, so it's Hill's net. And for Washington, they solved the loss of Kemper pretty quickly. Also, Washington trading Beck Mallenstein to Buffalo, getting back the number 43 pick. They used that to draft Cole Hudson. Hudson was seen as a potential first-round pick at points this year. So I think that was a value add for the Washington Capitals. Mallenstein, a player who's been playing mostly with Hershey. So this hurts Hershey if he's not going to be there next year. But for Mallenstein, he may get a chance to play bottom 6 minutes for the Buffalo Sabres this upcoming season. And back to Utah. John Marino has now joined the Utah Hockey Club. They also traded a 153rd pick, which was used to draft Alice Czech or Ketch. I know it could be, I've heard either way when it's name spelled like that. Czech players. But anyways, going back to the New Jersey Devils, the number 49 pick, which they used to draft Mikhail Yegorov, as well as the second round draft choice of the Edmonton Oilers in next year's draft. So New Jersey getting back a couple of draft picks, trading out John Marino as they continue to change that blue line. There were rumors the Canucks were in on Marino. I guess that pick was, or that price was too high for the Canucks. But at any rate, Marino now joins the Utah blue line along with Sergachev. And again, they've re-signed Kesselring. They got Kolyachonok. Yeah, this was a team that didn't have a single defenseman signed in Utah. And now they got 4. Tanner Jeannot traded to the LA Kings. I think this is an interesting move. So Julien Brisebois paid a hefty price to get Jeannot from Nashville, and it has not worked out. Both with injury and then just some poor play. Jeannot just wasn't working out in Tampa. Now he goes out to LA, has a chance to get his game back, and it gives Tampa Bay cap space. The number 118 pick this year was acquired. They used that to draft Jan Golicic, as well as a 2025 second round draft pick, which is the LA Kings' own draft pick. So, again, for Tampa Bay, they're looking at Jake Gensel, and they're looking at freeing up as much money as they can in order to bring in Gensel. And, we'll see how it all turns out for them. Pittsburgh picking up Kevin Hayes from St. Louis. They get a 2025 second round draft pick from the Blues as well. Future considerations going to St. Louis. So St. Louis creates some salary cap space with this move. Hayes, it's going to be interesting to see how he does for Pittsburgh. Of course, that contract that he's on was signed by Philadelphia before they traded him to St. Louis last summer. Now he's in Pittsburgh. We'll see if he can bounce back. It's been a couple of rough years for him. Hayes, I think, can bounce back, but again, we'll see what happens there. And then just as I was putting this board together, Another trade takes place where New Jersey picks up Paul Cotter from Vegas along with a 2025 third round pick. And going to Vegas, Alexander Holtz. You want a player that needs a change of scenery? Alexander Holtz absolutely needs that. He could be a goal scorer at the NHL level. He's got a lot of talent. He's had a hard time putting it together at the NHL level with the Devils. Maybe it's going to work out in Vegas. We shall see. Also, Akira Schmid being drafted or being traded over to Vegas. So Vegas loses Thompson in a trade with Washington. They pick up Schmid in a trade with the New Jersey Devils. And trading out Cotter, he's a third/fourth liner. So I don't mind what Vegas does here. I'm kind of surprised Logan Thompson goes, but maybe with Schmid they realize they've got a pretty good goaltender here. This does mean that it clears up the goalie jam a little bit in New Jersey with the acquisition of Markstrom. You had both Schmid and Dawes looking like they were going to get stuck in the minors this year, which didn't seem fair since both of them have had time at the NHL level. They've both been good. Not necessarily great, but they've both been good at points. So now Schmid goes to Vegas with a chance to show, hey, they made a mistake. We'll see if he can do that. A minor deal here, which I talked about during the live stream, made sure it gets on the board. The trades that are just draft picks for draft picks, I didn't put on the board because it's not really a major deal there, right? But Vinny Lettieri goes to the Boston Bruins along with the number 110 pick, which Boston used to draft Elliot Groenwald. So that's a defenseman there. And Boston picks up Lettieri. Going the other way, Jacob Lauko going to Minnesota. I like Lauko. I mean, I understand that for Boston, like he's a fourth liner. You can move a fourth liner. Lettieri can play fourth line as well. But I like Lauko. And the number 122 pick goes to Minnesota. They use that to draft Aaron Kivi-Harju. So Kivi-Harju, a player who was at points this year seen as a potential first-round draft pick, suffered a pretty major injury, and that's why he dropped down. Minnesota picks him up as the draft pick they get from Boston. That could potentially be a huge deal for them there. But again, for Kivi-Harju, it's going to be years before we know whether or not he's going to be a good NHL defenseman or if the drop in the draft was completely justified. But yeah, so it's been kind of a crazy day thus far. We'll see if it continues to be crazy. Keep in mind that I am going to be playing some street hockey today, so it is very possible I'll be back here tonight doing a video on all the trades that took place during the rest of the day. But there are a lot of teams right now trying to create cap space. So while people are going to look at this go, oh, this is a ripoff and this is clearly a horrible move by this team, remember, GMs right now are looking at their budgets for next season. And they're saying this player fits, this player doesn't. And when a player doesn't fit the budget for next season, you dump the player off. Or maybe you're looking at the budget and saying, if we move this player, we can go out and get that guy on the free agent market. And so they're making moves with that in mind. So I know people are still going to declare winners and losers, and I know people are going to dump on Tampa Bay and what Tampa Bay is doing, but I understand what Tampa Bay is doing here. If you want them to stay a contender or get back into contention for the Cup next season, obviously they're going to need to make some changes, and so far they have not been shy about doing so. Will they work out? They very well could. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.